Here is round 3, and I was dreading this matchup because the last few times I've been playing against Atlantean Mermail, I've been getting smoked. So luckily, I won the dice roll, so I was like, okay, off to a good start, because if he won a dice roll, I opened up draws, so I guess it would have been too bad. And he starts off with Shotgun Aprilia and Standby Phase. I'm like, oh, okay. Usually, I don't think the charms really affect us that much. We can play around it. There's ways to play around it. And my hand is pretty busted. I contemplated using draw on my turn, but I was like, no, I think I can get around and just give him like one draw, and then have my Omni established, and then hit him with a draw, and hopefully that would be enough. So then I go search for my Griffin, just to get my Omni. And I was debating on whether I want to summon Griffin on my turn, but then I need to be able to summon my Smiger so I can link it away into and get access to my inclusion. So then I discard this Sophador.
I can destroy a Crystron card I control, summon it from hand to grave, and then I'm locked into machine.
And then I'm letting him know what it does. Okay.
And then when it's summoned, special or normal, I can dump 2 Crystron cards from deck to the graveyard. Yeah, to the deck.
And then he activates Flawless. I was like, oh my god, are you serious? That would charm me. I give him one draw, and that's all I'm gonna give him, because I feel like there's no reason to link into Clockwork Knight. Yeah. And so I just activate Sophador, pop my Smiger, get it to the graveyard so I can search my inclusion, and then I dump Tristaros and my inclusion so I can revive it. And then I'm just explaining to him what it does.
Just my turn. This one, I can banish it to special a Crystron from grave.
So this way I can get around the Perulia. I don't have to summon from hand. Activate my Smiger, get my inclusion, and then inclusion will then search my trap. Right? It'll give me the protection in case he tries to go like battle phase over my Crystron and And I'm feeling fairly confident, because I feel like draw is just an insane card into this matchup.
By returning a Crystron from banish or grave to the deck. If I control a Crystron Synchro, I can pop 2 instead. And all of my Crystron cards cannot be banished.
And I'm just confirming the effects.
Does that include this? Yeah, include that. I'll activate 2.
Letting him know that he can't banish any of my Crystron cards while that trap is face up. So I set, and then I pass, and then I plan on summoning the Griffin on his turn, because I do not want to give him any more draws, like anymore. And like that deck is like gas. Like one more card just makes all the difference. So then I just pass with this. He activates Poseidra, and I change his stars because I know that everything is cost. So I can banish his cards before they can trigger. So that's the good thing about it. And he activates another Fualos. I was like, oh my goodness. So I chain my Griffin to my Tristaros, and he changed Fualos. I was like, oh my god, okay. So I summon a Sea Tree, and then I right away synchro into a Corin Gandrax. I give him 2 draws, which is not ideal. It's not ideal, but I can't really do it. I already used the effect. So this card sends how much is Atlantean or Mermail card from deck as cost, and then upon summon it can bounce a card on the field. So Chainlink 1 his guy, Chainlink 2 my guy, and he's targeting my set, right? So Chainlink 1 target my set to bounce it, Chainlink 2 my Corin Gandrax to banish his monster on field, and 2 engrave. And then I'm like, yeah, it's fine, resolve. So I banish his guys. So now that the cards are not there where they're meant to initially trigger, then they are incapable of triggering. So I was like, okay, we're good here. So he activates 1 for 1. I'm like, well, I'll just negate this. And if he has the summon, and so be it, but let's risk it. And we risked it, and he scoops. And this is going to be rather odd. You're going to be like thinking, why the hell are you setting this in? Okay, so my logic was, I put in the Hunters because of the Minstrel. If I can find a way to get to a Minstrel, right? Summon it. Get the Hunter and then summon it, and then he can't miss from me. That means he can't prematurely get rid of my draw, assuming I get access to a draw or a nib, you know what I mean? So it leaves my hand trap untouched. I'm pretty sure he still gets to reveal, but he won't be able to banish. And it's a body on field that I can use to make Draco Sack with, or I can make a Typhon with, you know? That was my logic. Like, I just don't want him to banish any of my hand traps before I can utilize them. And that's why it's a bit odd, but like there's nothing else I have for this matchup, so I was like, that's, I guess I can utilize it in a way where it can kind of help me, you know? So then he goes with Summon Prince. I was like, okay, that's basically full combo. What am I supposed to do? That I can't do anything. That's just crazy. So then he activates the effect Engrave, and I'm like, well, let's go ahead and ash that. Because I think that one normally summons Pike, and then Pike snowballs by discarding a Dragoons from hand, and then just goes out of control. So I was like, hopefully that's enough. From experience, it just never is. But he activates Tactics, and he is not too happy about that. He was like, oh, rip. So the moment he sets a card, I'm like, oh my god, because I told you I normally get freaking smoked by this matchup because they just have too much gas for my board, you know. So then I'm like, okay, this is my chance, the redemption. and he draws me. I was like, oh my god, the 1 of in 60 cards, bro. Where's your math? Where is your math? I was like, oh yeah, here we go. Okay, now I'm like, well, he can't charm me because he controls cards. And I'm assuming that set is like an imperm, and I'm expecting impulse as well. So I was like, okay, well, how do I get around that? Okay, let's try to play around that. So this is a cool line, and this is why I think that the adventure engine in this deck, in particular, it's an insane engine. It's so good because it's so versatile. It's a utility that you can use. Watch, like this is a perfect example. Look, I have 2 3s, and I make Cherubini. Right, and then Cherubini can send my Enchantress, and I have Engine anyways, right? So that baits Ash for 1, right? So like if that's an imperm, I can dodge it with Griffin, right? And if it's not, then it's just gonna get bounced, right? That's just it's so cool. Like I already have Engine, so Cherubini would be redundant in a way, because like, what are you gonna send, another Smiger, another Thicefern? Like what are you gonna send? I didn't like that. So the fact that we play the adventure engine makes it so we can do these type of things. And then I go adventure, and I'm like, if that's imperm, I think I should be okay, because that means if he has impulse, then I can negate the impulse, because he can't, you know. But I think I make one minor misplay. I'm not sure if it's a misplay, but I'm not sure if I was even capable of even triggering the Fateful to get access to my Draco Back to bounce it, right? But I get a name just so I can discard it for the search, right? So I discard the turtle. The turtle's so good in this particular deck. It's so good being able to special Tristaros and not be restricted by the lock of the adventure token. You know, it's so nice. So right here, if it was an imperm, he could have impermed this, right? He could have, but he doesn't do anything yet, and that's where I'm like, oh, maybe I messed up, because then if I go Draco Back equipped, and then activate effect to bounce the set, and then I'm like, is it an imperm? And he doesn't activate it. I was like, oh, what the heck? Okay, then what could that have been? What could that have been? Right now, I just go with motions, and I just sequence off my turn. I go for Smiger effect, searching my trap, right? Because he has a lot of cards, so I feel like I can't let him live. I can't pass. I have to find a way to OTK him, and I think I have enough battle damage to be able to do that. I just got to make sure that I have my zones in the correct order, and ensure that I can be in a position where Griffin can negate something that's quite devastating towards me. So I just go with emotions. I go and synchro into my 7. Let's get access to Alesk, and then Alesk will then, I think it adds a 5, if I remember correctly. Add a 5 just to have enough damage. Pretty sure. Yeah, because the turtle can summon it from hand. Then I go Trist effect. That card's insane, man. Trist is an insane card, giving you access to summoning 2. So I summon 2, summon the 5 off Alesk, and this is where I summon my Infinity. Make sure Infinity gets placed in the Cherubini column and Cherubini zone, because It gives you destruction protection, which is huge. And then here, I'm just trying to get enough interactions or omnis or just negations before I go for the OTK. So I banish the turtle to special Crystron from hand, which is Sofofnir. And then Sofofnir will then synchro with my Tristaros, give me a Dragster in case like there's like an impulse nib or something, or I don't know, an imperm. No, I'm not sure. And he just ends up scooping. And yeah, and he's like, nah, I scooped. GG Harrison, GG bro.